All right, welcome back. So we're diving back here into Ultimate Black Panther by Brian Hill and the crew with issue number 18. And yes, finally, Ultimate Black Panther and Storm have finally hooked up, which has been building for quite some time here, like over 13, 14 issues, right? But ultimately, what that does is that it puts Storm in danger, and we will unravel what that looks like here as we move on. Now, initially here, when this starts out, we finally get a name here for our two vibranium spirits. That's at least what I'm going to call it, right? Because the progenitor here starts off by saying, "This flesh won't embrace us for long, Zakal." Now, if you remember here, we first saw Zakal back in issue number 16, and she was the one that possessed the body here of Helen Fortin, who we saw back in issue number 15. Now, when the progenitor continues on, he's like, "We are here to seed our kingdom, to claim what we have given, to force them to serve." And it's here where Zakal responds back and says, "And we shall, Zanan." But she does have a question. She's like, "My love, why do we speak their language and why not our own?" To which he says, he's like, "Because this is their world. When it is ours, we will speak in our melodies." But here comes this voice that pops on in that says, "We wish to help you claim it." Now, this here is the voice of Matron Amala of the Vo-Dukan, who we just saw cause a ruckus here back in issue 17. But Zanan is like, "I don't really want to hear what you got to say." So she's like, "Hold on real quick. Please listen to my words." Now, Zakal picks her up and it's like, "Enough from you." But Zanan is like, "Nah, go ahead, let her cook, let her talk." So she says, "My gratitude." My bad, y'all, that was my son in the background. He's excited too. So Matron Amala lets him know, he's like, "Listen, my sect has worshipped your truth for generations, and I am the last in the line that have silently awaited your return." To which Zanan's like, "Yeah, I don't really care about that. And you got one moment here to make me care about your life." So this is when she says, she's like, "Wakanda has your element, and I hold its secrets." And I'm honestly hoping here that we get more secrets revealed, because up until this point, she's only really shared very little here with T'Challa, just enough to kind of get him to move towards her plan. So let's continue though. So she tells Zanan and Zakal, she's like, "There is a body that is meant to hold you." Because remember, up until this point right now, Zanan is actually, or I should say that he's actually possessed the body here of the soldier Adi that we also saw back in issue number 15. So he responds back and he's like, "Then I will march into Wakanda and I will claim it." But then Matron Amala is like, "You can't do that because it has yet to be born." And this is where she says, "Let me share the prophecy with you and give you purpose." Now back here, we jump over to Nigeria, where we see a soldier here talking to the defense minister in this safe locked room. But the defense minister, this dude is nervous because the soldier says to him, he's like, "This masked man cannot find you here." To which he's like, "I am not comforted by that." So the soldier lets him know, he's like, "Then be comforted by the armed men that I have stationed in the hallway outside." But before things could stay calm for these two here, we hear on the outside where comms comes in and says, "He's here outside." Repeat, "He's here outside." And before any of them could blink, here comes in the Black Panther as he knocks out their unit leader. And man, what a way to get kicked into a car glass. That crap must have hurt, right? And after T'Challa was done, my man just calmly walks directly into the building. And when he gets in, he tries to warn them. He's like, "I will not kill you, but if I have to go through you, you may not be the same when I am finished." But of course, they don't listen and they start firing off. Brata, brata, brata. And then the leader tells them to hold because they're waiting to see what clears after the dust settles. But when they look, all they see is nothing but bullet holes. And that's when the Black Panther comes out of the shadows. And once again, brata, brata, brata. But the Black Panther, man, he makes quick and easy work of him. And I gotta tell you, I feel bad for that dude that just got kicked straight in the dome. I hope he'll be okay. But to be fair, T'Challa is showing mercy because this dude is not even popping his claws. If he had dug those into him, they would have been done. And then in this next moment, he picks up one of the soldiers and is like, "I bet you know how to get into that room, don't you?" Now back on the inside here with the defense minister, we see these two gentlemen here having bourbon, but it is not a calm situation for them at all because one of them says, "That was gunfire." And the defense minister is like, "The gunfire doesn't concern me." So when he asks the question, he's like, "Well, what does then?" Dude responds and is like, "The silence." And my man was right, because here comes T'Challa down from the ceiling. And T'Challa, he wants one thing. And he's like, if both of you want to walk out of this room, one of you needs to tell me where this gateway is. And now later on here, we see where T'Challa goes to meet back up with Storm at this little house that they were staying at here after the progenitor had done a good number here on Storm. My bad, I should say Zanan now. And Storm initially here starts a fire, of course, with her lightning. To which T'Challa comes in and is like, you know, a match would have been easier, Aurora. She mentions how she prefers the self-reliance. But then she gets to the important matter. She's like, did they tell you where the gateway is? To which he says, yeah, they did. Took some theatrical convincing and a few broken bones, of course. So what she wants to know now is, what is the plan? So he mentions, he's like, a gateway means something wants to come through it, something connected to vibranium. So we destroy it. So then she wants to know as well. She's like, what about that creature that's using Adi's body? To which he says, we destroy him too. But as is a repeated theme here for Storm, she says to T'Challa, she's like, you built your kingdom on material you did not understand. If I were a Wakandan, I would not trust the Black Panther to protect me. To which he says, you could be a Wakandan and help strengthen that trust. But then she says, I do not nest well. I confuse roots and anchors. And he's like, so what future do you see for yourself then? You and Eric ripping your way through the world? And then she continues on. She's like, I want to free this continent of all that would shame her and then punish anyone who would try. And T'Challa picking up on this moment here, her vibe, her emotions, he says, I am sorry for what you have been through, Aurora. To which she says, she's like, what happened to me? I didn't say anything happened to me. He's like, you don't have to. Anyone driven to create justice as you are must have been denied it. And for that, I am sorry. But in this moment here, Storm just like stands up and is like, don't you dare pity me, King. But he's like, I don't pity you, Aurora. But in this moment here, things begin to shift. Because T'Challa's like, you should not look at me like that. And then she's all coy with it. She's like, then turn from me. And this is when they start to get closer. And she says, because unlike you, I am not bound by rules or legacy or title or Eric. And then she continues on by saying, because I will do what pleases me. And then next she says, it's going to rain. And I'm like, is it going to rain because it was gonna rain, or is it gonna rain because you making it rain, Storm? But T'Challa's trying to fight in this moment, right? He's like, Aurora, I cannot do this. But then she's like, then walk away in the rain. I'm like, Storm. She putting that charm on your boy. As she calls his bluff, she's like, but you won't do that, will you? We are not in Wakanda, and here you rule nothing. And it's here where they embrace, but this time it's with their lips. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know how to feel. I just done called Okoye Hokoye, and then Storm is doing this? I don't know how to feel, y'all. How do y'all feel? Let me know in the comments. But it's here where things get a little bit more real. Because in the next day here in the morning, when T'Challa wakes up, we hear a voice calling to him. And when he looks up, it's Boss. And Boss says to him, soon you will face the greatest test. And she continues on by saying, and you must succeed. Find me, as she fades away. And when T'Challa goes back here on the inside, he tries to first say, listen, I'm not sure what I saw. But then the voice comes out and says, don't speak, listen. And the voice continues on by saying, I thought you were infinitesimal, but I was mistaken. So of course, the Black Panther wants to know, he's like, where is Aurora? To which the voice says, with us, where the woman of light is safe. And you need to listen. We will claim the kingdom you built from our gift. You and the woman of light will serve the prophecy. And to protect everyone you love, everything you love, and your child to come, you will help us destroy your precious Wakanda. All right, I gotta give it up. This has been one of the better issues here of this entire series so far. But I can't help but wonder, like, are these feelings of these women, Okoye, Storm, are they real, or is it some way that they've been manipulated to kind of move in this direction? especially for Storm, just so that she could fulfill the prophecy? Once again, let me know what y'all think about this down below in the comments. Also, shout out to everybody here who's been supporting and rocking with the channel, and if you haven't as of yet, we got a ton of new stuff right now over at keepinitcomic.com. We got merch, which is another way for you to be able to support us. Actually, one of the best ways that you can support the channel here. We have updates. We have a free newsletter that's going to be coming here in the future. And right now, also, we have a promotion that if you do click on our link tree that's down below in the description, one where you can see all of our links to our other social media platforms that we're on, you could also grab right now a free month of Hulu for new members. Leave a like on this video here for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe if you're brand new to the channel, and until next time, thank you so much for kicking it with Keepin' It Comic. Bye!